Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Bartholin had written in over Discord about a week and a half ago, asking about how to get a pattern chain to render effects into it using a pattern chain that has different or changing BPM. So maybe the intro is 80 BPM, the main part of the song is 120 BPM, and then the outro maybe goes back to 80 or something else. So to simulate this, what I've done is I've gone Shift, Pad 11, and you can see I'm on the bank version of BPM selection. If you're on project, this won't work because it will just, everything will have the same BPM. But if you go to bank, each bank can have its own BPM. So as long as you set up a pattern in one bank for a BPM that you want, and then go to a different pattern or a different bank, you can set up multiple patterns this way or different BPMs to change. So if we exit out, got this 90 BPM, just a kick pattern playing. And if I go switch over to bank D, it's 200 BPM, and I just cue it up, we'll switch over. So far, so good. Now, the problem is when you chain this together, so go hold, I created a pattern chain, and if I play this, just hit sub pad, it's going to go 90 BPM, 200, 90, 200. So we can actually get this automated, and it works pretty well. Even some other fun things just to note for how this works. If I go MFX and turn scatter on, and we play this at 90 BPM, you can hear it said 90 and it switched to 200. Kind of weird. Not what I was expecting. Now for some reason, everything is now 200 BPM. I don't know why it did that. I've seen it happen a couple times, but it seems like there's something weird happening where it says bank E is 90 BPM. It still says it, and I came in and switched it. Now it's playing correctly, but I'm not quite, as I said, I don't quite know if it's a function of pattern chain causing this problem or anything else. Anyway, we're far afield of what the issue is and why I decided to record this video. So the problem is that we can't render. You can use resample to get the effects sampled in or resampled into the chain. The problem is when you use resample, it's going to pick whatever bank you're in for pattern chain, and that's what's going to be applied for all of the patterns. So just to show you, we will go, let's just do resample. Let's turn the effects off. We're going to go to resample. We're going to go to this pad here, hold down hold, get into pattern chain, and when I go play this, you're going to hear 90 BPM, switch to D. This should be 200 BPM. It's still playing as 90. So whatever the bank you're on when you get this started is what it's picking for your BPM. And just to fully show you, this was 90 BPM. We're on bank E. Bank D is 200 BPM. Now, if I do go from bank D, do hold and hit the pattern or the pattern chain, and then come back, we'll go resample. Oops, I didn't do it right. Sorry, resample. Select the pad. Hold down hold. Go into pattern chain 16. Hit sub pad to play it. You can hear it. It's now stuck at, excuse me, it's now stuck at 200 BPM. So clearly resample is not going to work here. And unfortunately, this is kind of a bummer because if we turn on the scatter effect, come back to pattern mode, do resample, select the pad, and do hold pattern chain, get in, sub pad to record it, we're going to hear it playing the way we want it to. It's got the scatter going, but unfortunately it's not changing BPM. So that's a bummer, but it's the only way. So you can do this if you don't have BPM changes. Now, for copy, if we do the copy method, it will save the pattern changes, but we're going to get something else weird that happens, which is I'll show you. We're going to have MFX on. We go pattern, come over here, hit copy, hold down hold, hit pad 16. So we're telling it chain 16, which is good. We're going to tell it what sample we want to record to, E1, cool, and then hit copy. And it's going to go through and render everything out. Unfortunately, it's rendering it pre-bus 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the reason I actually decided to re-record this video, is because I was like, oh, it's got all the effects there. I can hear the effects still playing, but notice something. The light did not turn off this time. So I wasn't paying attention. And I can, like right now, I can hear scatter doing its thing. That's only because the MFX is on. So if I turn this off, it's just playing it straight. Now you can hear it has recorded the BPM change. So I don't know what I have for any other suggestions or anything, but yeah, Bartholin was asking, kept saying like, this isn't working. It's not rendering out my effects. It's not rendering out bus 3 or bus 4. So I think the best, and because of how it's working here, I think the best way you're going to have to record this is if you have a pattern chain and you've got all of your routing for bus 1, 2, 3, and 4 set up the way you want. You're just going to have to record the audio out your line out or USB or something to just get that performance recorded out through a recorder somehow, because otherwise it doesn't work. And I don't know, sorry for the long-winded crash course on pattern chains and some of the things that go on, how it works and all that. But I want to kind of show as much about pattern chains as I could and try and explain why I had made some of these mistakes in the previous video. As I said, I figured I'd just take it down because I didn't want to be confusing people where it's like 90% of the information is correct and then people are going crazy trying to understand why things aren't working for them. And I'd made it look like it was working. So, thanks for the folks that reached out and were like, hey, your MFX was still on and bus 3 and 4 were still on. So that's why it seemed like it was working. Yeah, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.